Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus. The market opens. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-minute trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. All right, good morning. We're back. I made my money back that we lost a little bit trading some earnings that didn't really work very well. Scalp did a poor man's magnet. Tested, traded the MNQ for the high of the day test, and it was a nice little trade. We were down 80 and made about 150. So right in this area here, it seemed clear the market was going to do a test of the high. It went against us a little bit, but overall it was a good setup. Sometimes you can use the reverse continue. You get in earlier, and it's a magnet, but you're trading it less structured. And we do a lot of those. Let me put the RTY up. I'm still waiting to hear from Bullinox. I did make a request that they reset our account. Even the one that we made extra money on, I explained to them that I'm not interested in hanging around, finding an order hanging around because it couldn't be seen or whatever. I want honest trading, especially in a funded account. So I'm still waiting to hear. I'd sent them a, everybody they made it very complicated. Hang on one second. Hello? How are you? Yeah, you're good. They're fine. Thanks. Okay. Folks, give me one second. Our landscaper is here, and I have to pay him. Be right back. Get, 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 get. No, no. Hey, Ron. Ron. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of working. I put some extra in there for that. Thank you. I'm sorry. Get, 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 get. All right, get out of here. Sorry, folks. Been trying to get this guy here. It's been raining. Let me fix my webcam for online. I apologize, but life is what it is. I don't know if anybody's been watching Bezos. Definitely an interesting interview. I cannot get the webcam to work properly this morning, so I'm not going to spend time on it. Now it should work. Okay, we got it. So much for AI webcams. So first things first, oil chart, CL, 0726, July oil, and I'm not trading any of my funded accounts until I hear from Bull and Ox. I believe that they won't do anything, but I've had them be very supportive. So I'm not going to be negative. I laid out my case that I feel we should possibly have had a stop on our RTY trade, but not triple the amount because we didn't see the orders not take place. All I asked for was fairness. It's not my fault that the orders froze. I didn't create a data feed that didn't work properly. So I think we shall see. I've had them reinstate accounts before and be extremely fair. Oil, putting a reverse continue on the chart, modifying the one that I have, one position, 25 target, 25 stop, label it CL reverse continue, and I'll trade it in account number 43. And then I will update my oil magnet, one position, a 30 tick stop. Everything else is going to stay default. Label it CL magnet. Basically, we're checking, same account, we're checking to see if our market open is worth taking on oil. I cancel if there's no burst. So I have a breakout. I'm going to load the template, oil new open. Oil new open. There it is. I'm going to right click it and name it today's date. Today is the 20th. Load it. When you load it, it saves it. As I'm going through this room, I'm going to try to keep an eye on our email to see if they answer. They're usually very good about tech support also. They answer their tickets right away, a couple hours usually. So we have a breakout. 8:59:59 is the trigger time. I'm going to set it to 0. Right now, a bracket of 20. Targets of 8 and 20. Target 1 stop move is break even. And 25 on the stop loss. It's labeled CL breakout open. Apply it. The charts are on sim. Put the chart trader on sim. And now if I activate this breakout trade,
Order
it
submitted.
puts my brackets on the chart. So we could determine, is a 20 bracket manageable for the volatility that we have in the market right now? The oil market at the moment is quite negative. It's above 100 still. The markets are up today. Quite bullish. So I do think a 20 bracket is fine.
Order canceled.
It's pulled off the low quite nicely. I'm sure there was a very good magnet signal. Perfect signal. Now, you wouldn't have gotten in, probably wouldn't have gotten in on that candle. Might not have even gotten in on the next two candles because they're red. I like to wait for a candle in the color of the trade I'm going to take. That's what I personally like to do. Then I wait for momentum to be on my side as well. Momentum to me is very important. Very important. Putting my middle chart on YM looks just like the NQ chart this morning. Putting a magnet on that chart, YM, high of day, low of day, goes on, and we'll do a couple of positions. Stop of 40. -3 is the default target. Now, I was telling people, label it YM magnet. I was telling people that we have an update to the magnet and to the breakout strategy, that hopefully on the breakout strategy should make orders better. In other words, the programmer noticed something and he updated the product. So we have a YM magnet. I'm not trading this early, but I'm watching. I'm getting ready. So let's watch. I haven't been watching the YM. Let's get our breakout set up for oil. So let's go back and check it one more time. 8:59.59, bracket of 20, target of 8 and 20, stop of 25. If it hits the first target, I'll move to break even using the target one stop move. It's labeled and we'll put it on account number 43. Apply it, okay it, and we'll put our chart trader on 43. Now, I think I would prefer a short on oil because oil's so negative. At the moment, it's been selling off pretty heavily, possibly because of news about Iran managing the Strait traffic, which probably means they're charging a fee to get through the Strait, but some countries have been paying. There's a lot of ships trapped in the Strait, they were saying. So I don't know what's the status of the blockade, or if maybe the blockade is not in effect right now because they're negotiating. It's hard to know from one moment to the next what we're doing. So the first thing that's going to happen is our orders will show up on the chart at 9 o'clock for oil, and I'll decide if I want to be filled or not. Most mornings, I'm not really that interested in filling on this oil breakout. It just hasn't been profitable enough. Oil is very interesting to trade these days, I think, between 8 and 9. Before an hour before the open, there's quite a bit of volatility. The markets really wake up at 8.
US effective Federal funds rate at 3 spot
I
62%.
think the Bezos interview was pretty interesting. It's still going. It's been an hour. All right, here comes the bracket.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right, it filled long, so the question is, will we get a follow through? Not really the direction I wanted to be filled, to be honest. I would be surprised if it keeps going. We've had too much movement. I think we've had too much movement. It needs some motivation. But I'm here really testing this event. I don't know. I've been saying for a couple of weeks now that we might just start our opens at maybe at 5 minutes to 9 and not bother with oil. I'd be more interested in looking at oil if we have an earlier morning trade room, an 8 o'clock report, looking at oil between 8:30 and 9 for some signals maybe. I'm not loving the breakout. It's just not great. I think this breakout is not going to work. That's what I think. I think it's going to ultimately stall right here. But we'll
ASML
see.
CEO says strong AI demand
We
means
only
chips
need
will be
8
at
to
least a
10
high
ticks
weaker
to hit our
target for
first
quite a
target.
while.
It's not a lot. It's not asking a lot. If it hits the first target, I'll expand. I'll expand. So literally it went 9 ticks. No, 7 ticks. Our target is 8. Our target is 8. I'm not asking that much. Let's go.
Order
All
filled.
right, my stop is at safety, so I can't lose money. And I'm up about 60 bucks. I'll expand the target. I think it's a miracle that
Order filled.
we were able to do that. So that was just $60. Like I said, I think we got filled, and it's not easy to keep going up when oil's down over $2 at the open. There's a lot of downward pressure. We were part of a retracement that hasn't quite ended, but it could be ending at the open. Target uh, stunk. Target doesn't move much, Roz. It's just not a very good trade. It didn't really do anything for anyone, really. I wound up not trading it. All right, so oil, there's no signals that'll get generated because there are no pivots that oil is trading against right now. If it got to the VWAP, there could be a signal, but we're not going to see anything on oil at the moment. All right. So a small winner, 60 bucks. I still feel the same way. I'm just feeling like this oil trade is more risk than it's worth. That's the issue. It's more risk than it's worth. You're putting on a 25 stop. It's a $500 risk for an $80 profit most days. Every now and then we get a trail and you get a $300 trade. But more often than not, the only good thing is there hasn't been a full stop out in more than a week. But again, we're looking for a profit opportunity, not just survival, right? Looking for an opportunity. Now, if the VWAP was down at 102, that would be a good short signal right now. You could take a short and you could put your stop like at 102.10. That's not a terrible trade. 102.08. Take a short here and your stop is 102.08. If I was sticking around with oil, I might do that.
At 9:15 a.m. Eastern
And you
Time,
could
we've
trade
got
it with
Fed
micro
Chair
oil
Jeff Barr
also.
and Bank of England's Governor Bailey.
Let's set up our other charts first before the
Advisory
MNQ
speak
to
on
see what
consumer
this trade
financial health
does.
metrics at the FHN Emerge
So
2026 conference.
82-ish
Text is
might have
expected
been the
later
short
today.
in that area,
The Bank of England's Governor
82-ish.
Bailey and MPC testify to lawmakers at the Parliament Treasury Committee on the April
RTY
Monetary Policy Report.
putting on a reverse continue. Change the breakout to a reverse continue, one position, 35 target, 35 stop. Label it RTY reverse continue. And I've got to figure out where to trade my RTY. I'll trade my RTY this morning in Lucid. Let me just think this through. No, I'll keep the YM in Lucid. RTY, I'm going to trade in my 29 prop account. I hate that account. All right, that's where we'll do it this morning. It's just not a very meaningful account. I'm very close to passing the eval in 39, but I want to wait and see what Bullinox does. I'm perfectly fine having two funded accounts so I can concentrate on them. So we'll do it in 29. That's where we'll do it. One RTY reverse continue, and I'll put on a RTY range. I think I'm just watching. So our oil trade, that short idea was a good idea. Was a good idea. You could move your stop. Well, we said what? 81 would be the approximate short. It's down to 74. 6. We'll see. It's not 100% decided yet. I think it would have been interesting. Yep. So oil, very possible oil could go back down and test the low. Even break it. It could even break it. Oil's negative at the moment. RTY range. I have to check something. Let me check something. I want to see if I can trade the way I want to trade in this account. So bear with me. Let me add that second setup. I'm testing a range. So ignore what I'm doing. I'm just testing something to see if I can trade this trade. That's all I'm looking to do. So bear with me for 1 second. Give me a second. What time is it? It's 9. Let's put this on at 9:07. We started the range. And we ended the range at 9:08. I just want to see if it'll
Finance
allow me to
Secretary
put the
expected
trade
to meet
on.
some Fed Bar, speaking on consumer financial health metrics at the FHN Emerge
So
2026
let's see
conference.
what happens,
Text
because
is
that's going to
expected later
determine if
today.
I can use this
Also
account.
expecting comments from Bank of England's Governor Bailey
This account has
and
some weird
MPC, testifying to
rules.
lawmakers at the Parliament Treasury Committee on the April Monetary Policy Report.
Order submitted.
Okay, it will.
Order canceled.
Okay, I can trade it. You always have to make sure you're on the right account so you see your orders. I did not
Order
see my
submitted.
orders
Order
because
canceled.
I was not on the right account. Now I'm on the right account. Okay, so let's go back and fix our range, make it normal. Our RTY range trade starts at 929. Sorry, 925. 00. 6 ticks above, 6 ticks below. Show the range graphics on chart. If you want your range box a different color, you can make it a different color. And we're going to end the range at 930.00. One position, 10 targets. On the first target, I'm going to go 30 on the second. The stop is 25. And we're trading it in account number 29. We're labeling it RTY range. Also, under optional, show the vertical line on entry is unchecked. I don't want to see the vertical line. And if it hits the first target, target one stop move, I want my stop to go to break even BE. Okay? Apply it. That's our range. Let me check our reverse continue that I didn't screw it up. One position, 35 target, 35 stop. Same account, it's labeled. All right, our RTY is almost done, and I'll put a magnet on the RTY as well. High of day, low of day. One position at the moment, 35 on the stop. That oil trade, by the way, was about a 25 tick to 30 tick winner. That's funny, Calvin. 35 stop. So our high of day, low of day, position one is just one contract. -3 target is default. 35 on the stop. Everything else is default RTY magnet. And we're on account number 29. So remember, we have 3 setups, but they're not all trading at once. You're going to trade the setups that you feel are appropriate. The range is a definite trade. That's my market open trade for the RTY. I trade it every morning. So that goes on. The magnet. I'm definitely going to start trying to be more aggressive on magnet signals. Magnet goes on, but I'm letting the range trade first. So I'm not looking at my high of day, low of days orders. So on the control panel, I'm turning the H high of day, low of day to off. It still generates my VWAP and my high of day, low of day signals. No problem. We're still generating signals. We're just not seeing the orders for the high of day, low of day. I don't want to be distracted during the range trade. We could trade the magnet after the initial market open. And then our reverse continue is just totally discretionary. If I decide I want to take a discretionary trade when I'm not in any other trade, I'll use the reverse continue. That's the concept. Multiple setups on one chart leads to multiple opportunities depending on what that particular market is doing. So I like to put a magnet and a reverse continue on every chart. Or
monetary policy.
you can put just the magnet on.
Should we be expecting comments from Bank of England's Governor Bailey?
What was the take profit, stop loss, and break even for the range? So let me show it to you again, no problem.
We do have a live video on the feed. If you'd like to watch along
Normally,
with Governor
I'm
Bailey,
going
for those
for a
interested.
bigger target. My normal range, so the first position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. That means we have one target for each, one contract for each position. Target 1 is 10 ticks. Usually we do target 2 is 20 ticks. Usually we do target 2 is 20. 9 times out of 10, that's what I do. Today I'm doing 30. I'm just going for a bigger second target. If my first target gets hit, I use the target 1 stop move, BE, break even. That'll move my stop to break even if my first target gets hit, and my stop loss is 25 ticks. You can use the outside of the range as your stop. If your range is not huge, you can increase the target to being on the other side of the range should you choose. That's not a bad idea when the range is of a manageable size, okay? Anytime, Paul, no problem. Okay, that oil trade was great. I'm tired of not being aggressive, and I should have taken that trade. I'm tired of not taking trades I should be taking. Okay, we're going to turn off our oil, put on our MNQ. The chart now becomes an MNQ 0626. We have an MNQ open. Do I worry about frozen orders because we had frozen orders yesterday? Honestly, I don't think about it. I was shocked that it happened yesterday. What you need to do, what I do when I get frozen orders, especially in prop, the first thing I do is I give it a minute or a minute and a half. If they stay frozen, I reboot the Ninja Trader platform while I'm booting up my RTrader Pro if you don't already have your RTrader Pro running while you're trading. And you want to check on your RTrader to make sure that you don't have orders that you don't know about. So, and you want to cancel orders or manage the trade on RTrader. But I find if you reboot Ninja, it'll at least give you control back. You have to redo your strategies because when you get a frozen platform, everything gets screwed up. You have to reload your strategies. So reload a couple of quick strategies, and you can usually successfully right-click the chart trader, cancel all orders, and flatten everything. And that will get rid of everything in RTrader. So if you're totally ignorant about managing your RTrader, let me tell you the steps that I do, because I'm totally ignorant about RTrader. I don't use it. I can barely get around it to cancel my orders most of the time. So I have frozen orders. They don't become unfrozen. My platform's not working properly, Ninja. Don't panic. Close Ninja. If you can't close it because it's frozen the normal way, go to your taskbar. Right-click your taskbar. Go to Task Manager. And then find your Ninja Trader. It'll be right at the top. Right-click it. End the task. That'll shut down your Ninja Trader. So you're right-clicking your taskbar. Go to your Task Manager. Look for your Ninja Trader app. It'll be towards the top. Right-click it. End the task. Then just reload your Ninja. Put a couple of strategies back on, but your orders won't be frozen. If you want it, just make sure everything is cleared out. First of all, you'll see what your losses and wins were. Yesterday, I got $800 extra on one of my accounts, which I didn't really want. Being honest, it doesn't help me, but it was there. Then what I do, I go to the charts that were trouble, right-click Chart Trader, cancel all orders. I'll do that on all three of my charts. Then I'll flatten everything. That will reset, usually will clear you out of our trader. But ultimately, it is up to us to check our trader, make sure there's no orders hanging around that we don't know about on Ninja. It is our responsibility. It is, and that's why it's a gray area as to whether or not they'll reset the account. They can just say, look, it's your responsibility. But there are times when the data feed doesn't work properly, and it's truly not our fault. And if the company's reasonable, they'll take care of it. I've had my funded account completely reset. And I thought that that was extremely fair and should have been done. But if it's not done, you can't cry about it. It's the risk you take trading prop that the data feeds can be wonky sometimes. It's just one of the risks. It's like you get in a car, one of the risks is a drunk driver can hit you. You can't get rid of that risk no matter what you do. You still get in your car and you drive every day, most of us. All right, let's fix our MNQ setups and make the oil setups our MNQ. Reverse continue, we'll do a couple of contracts, 75 tick target, 75 stop. That's our reverse continue on the MNQ. Label it MNQ, reverse continue, and we'll trade the MNQ in number 43. All right, apply it. Don't okay it yet. I'm going to adjust my magnet. It's an oil magnet. I want it to be an MNQ magnet. High of day, low of day. And I'll put a couple of contracts. I'll put 3 contracts. One target of -3, a stop of 75. One of the updates to the software is the buttons. Label it MNQ magnet. The buttons are pre-programmed. The defaults are set up for an average instrument trade. Not perfect, but if you forgot to program the buttons and forgot that you didn't program the buttons and you took a trade using the button, it won't kill you. It'll be manageable. And when I say using the buttons, you've got a reverse continue button and a reverse continue short button inside the magnet. And you've got a ARS enter now, which is if you get a signal, okay, if you get a signal, you can take the trade with a button, ARS enter now, instead of reverse continue. I like using the reverse continue. It just makes things easy. I don't have to use extra buttons, but we programmed it this way. So there are choices. To do the same thing more than one way means people have choices. Not everybody likes doing things the same way. All right. So our magnet, just doing a 3 contract magnet, default -3 target, high of day, low of day. It's labeled account 43. Apply it. And then our breakout, I'm going to load my template. So go to template, load.
Bailey says we have a softening picture for growth and labor markets.
MNQ new open. Now, one thing I didn't do, I think, on the RTY. Let's finish this. MNQ new open. Right click it to date it 5/20. Load it.
Bailey says the removal of cut expectations has tightened policy.
Bracket of 30. Targets of 20 and 100. Stop of 125. Break even BE on target 1 stop move. And I'm just checking the bracket by making the time 0. So I put my charts on sim. Apply it and okay it. Put my chart trader on sim. Whoops. Chart trader on sim. Spread it a little bit. I will take the long on the YM if the market decides to go and test the high. On my RTY, Okay, no, I thought I forgot to do the target one stop move. We're good. Everything's normal. See how the range is generating? Okay, back to the MNQ. We're testing our brackets in
Order
sim.
submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled.
That's a manageable trade. The width is fine. Go back to the strategy. Highlight the breakout. Now put the correct time in. 9:29:59. Bracket of 30, target of 20, target 100. It's really up to you how many contracts you want to trade.
Plan says
That
activist
risk is
policy
up to
also
you.
means you can hold for longer.
Stop is 125. Target one stop move is BE. See how I changed the color of the range drawing? The internal lines are the range. That color, you don't see it that well, so that's why the magenta is
Iran's
good.
parliament speaker says obvious and hidden moves of the enemy show they are
Apply
seeking
it,
a new round
okay
of
it.
war.
We have our usual volatility on the NQ in the morning. Now let's turn on our events. We'll turn on the breakout first, the magnet second, reverse continue third. Pretty far from the magnets. It's not on automatic. So I'm going to leave everything set the way it is. Frank, also in Test Manager, I found another trick. Click on the Details tab and find Ninja EXE. Okay, so you could end it there. Yeah, usually with Windows, there's a myriad of different ways that you can do the same thing. There's always more than one way you can
Bank of
do the
England's
same
man
thing.
says I am worried about possible high inflation in late 2026 getting embedded in wage deals for 2027.
It looks to me okay. Roz, but sometimes Ninja's frozen and you can't do that. So this is for ways if you're frozen and you can't do it because your platform is frozen. Yeah, yesterday my whole platform was frozen. I couldn't do anything. And that's happened before. This was not like the first time this has happened. What bothered me
Iran's parliament
is
speaker says our military
the
forces have
way
seized the
that it
best
happened
opportunity
was
in the best way to
unacceptable.
rebuild their strength.
There was no sign on one of my accounts that it was frozen. That's what was unacceptable.
1 minute remaining for the market on open imbalance.
We should not be punished for that. I could not manage the trade. I could not go short to make back the money. Everything was frozen, but it didn't appear to be frozen until the whole range had been pierced to the downside. And if you're not, I was managing a different chart. I was watching it out of the corner of my eye. Looks like the markets want to test the highs on the open. That's what it looks
10
like. Doesn't
seconds.
mean they're going to, but certainly looks like it.
Order submitted. Order
Market
submitted.
on open
Order
imbalance.
filled.
S&P 500 buy side 99 million.
Order filled.
Nasdaq 100
So
buy
Order
side
filled.
11 million. Dow 30 buy side 20 million. Mag 7 buy side 6 million.
I'm going to put on my magnet on the MNQ. We'll look at the video in a minute.
Iran's parliament speaker
The
says mounting economic pressure
YM
will not
wound
compel
up
Iran
completely
to
reversing.
Bank of England's
The RTY wound up being a $5 trade.
with
We'll
oil
have to
prices.
look at the
Bank
video
of England's scenario
to see how that
continues to
happened.
take place.
Now, it's unfortunate. I would have tested the PP and the VWAP if I really thought this market was heading lower. I did not think it was heading lower. You could yell at me for misanalyzing. I did not analyze this market that
Iran's
well.
parliament speaker Galabaf says Iran and the US are in a war of wills.
So now I think that there's Iran commentary, and that's what's causing a little bit of different direction. I'll let the MNQ test the high if it tries. The YM, it didn't test the high. Now what will happen is there will be a VWAP signal. There will be a VWAP signal if it eventually changes to go up. Right now it's just pushing down. I'll let the YM test the low. If it decides it wants to test the low, I'll let it. Now, I don't have a trade now on the RTY just because you can only do so many trades.
According to CGTN, Russia's President Putin concludes the visit to China. Bank of England's Breeden says seen tightening in financial conditions. And according to FARS, Iran parliamentary speaker Galabaf says the enemy still hopes for Iran's surrender. Bank of England's Thingra says the UK economy looks too weak for any consumption boom. And Bank of England's Breeden says policy tightened from already restrictive place. Breeden says if it does look like we are moving to prolonged Middle East conflict with pronounced second round effects, we'll need to move quickly and possibly forcefully. And Breeden says need to be alive to risk of a bigger shock.
Check. I don't know if you can hear me. You should be able to hear me now. NQ did not fill. YM did not fill. Nothing happened except for whatever reason. I don't know why. I didn't do anything. The trade room went dead. Can you all hear me now? It went dead. I didn't do anything. My computer's fine. Nothing happened. So if the MNQ tests the high, I'll take it. I will let it trade if it tests the high. If the YM tests the low, I'll let that trade. It's done a pretty big sell-off. I don't know why I only made $5 on the RTY. I have to look at the setup. I have to look at what happened. Honestly, I'm not sure what happened. I don't think the commentary that's being made about big shocks taking place by the BOE makes me feel, market down. So I'm not dying for a long test, even though the MNQ is so bullish. That's the problem. The MNQ is so bullish.
Economic numbers yesterday.
The YM's going to test.
Order submitted.
If I can move my stop to safety, I will. If it decides to reverse, the trade won't work. I think we should get our test.
So Trump currently speaking to the press at JBA.
Stop to safety, just barely.
Currently speaking to reporters.
I'd like to trail, but I don't want to get so close
Market futures curves seem fairly
because I think
compared
it's
to
going to
China's
test the
significant
low.
gas infrastructure.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's expand the target if it goes through the low. Now, if it takes me out, I have a nice
Order
profit.
filled.
So 215, good profit, good magnet, a lot of negative news. That pushed the market down. MNQ, I'm just sitting. I'm up 217 in that account. That's not a very meaningful account, though. We could test the VWAP if we could get it set up fast enough. Manual entry, I can't get it set up fast enough, folks. A VWAP test. Now it's set up, turn it on. If the MNQ decides to go through the VWAP, we would have a winning trade there. Now, do you want to take an MNQ short? That's really the question. The MNQ is up 132 points. Yes, it did a pretty big sell-off. It's only a test of the VWAP. It's not a test of the low. But we've also done a fairly big sell-off. Now, the RTY, I did not have that signal generating. So it's no big deal. I'm trying to figure out. I have to look at the video to see what happened to my RTY, that it only made $5. I'm thinking, I don't know. It had. How did it make $5? It's crazy. Maybe it hit the first target of 10 ticks, reversed very fast, and there was negative slippage on the fill. That's the only thing I can think of. Now, YM. You could have taken, you'd be filled though, if you traded the previous open, the orange line. Now, Trump is tweeting, so you better keep that in mind. We will work on the Taiwan problem.
Bank of England's Bailey says fuel tax freeze may be relevant to UK households' inflation expectations.
Now, I was not watching the RTY here. And you have to decide, do you want to trade when there's tweeting? I think I'll do the test of the VWAP. I think I'll let it do it reluctantly because I'm not loving the price action. And Paul, you can get completely different results on the exact same setup with two people trading the exact same way because there's no guarantee your fills are going to be the same as my fills. It's pretty common. I mean, usually if one person has a winner, the other person has a winner. And usually if one person has a loser, the other person has a loser. But you're going to have differences in profit amounts. That's completely normal and common. Happens all the time. Right now I'm just watching, folks. I'm just watching. I have that one VWAP test on the MNQ. And I think I'd let it do it. It's not a gigantic. The RTY, it's going to test that darn high. It's just you're so late to the party now. So late to the party. It was a VWAP test, and I was not paying. I don't really love scalping the RTY. That was a VWAP test, and actually, it was a good signal.
Trump says good Putin.
I'm not looking for any short move right now with Trump tweeting. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu will do whatever I want him to do. Right. Keep dreaming. Now you have to decide, do you want to trade the high of the day? That I have more interest in because the NQ's bullish. I have more interest in trading the high of day, but my orders aren't set up. You got to set up your orders. Now the RTY did not, it missed the high of the day by a couple of ticks. Couple of ticks. No problem, Paul. Any question is allowed. Any question.
This one shot. I'm in no hurry.
But when Trump is tweeting, it could make the market go up and down, up and down, up and down. There's no consistency because you never know what's going to be said. So you're taking your life into your hand. You're taking a trade into your hands if you take a trade while there's tweeting.
Inflation expectations are de-anchored.
So you just want to realize that. That's all. So right now I'm just watching. I can remove. I do have one setup that's active. MNQ, if it tests the high, the magnet orders will trigger. I can remove my RTY range setup. I don't need it. We can remove it. We can remove our MNQ breakout setup. I didn't even see what happened on that setup. I have to watch the video on that one also. I think most people are saying the MNQ is a winner. That's what most everyone's saying? But I don't think I have more money on my
and Trump says Iran is decimated.
Chart trader. I think I'm showing less money. So the magnet orders are not showing. Notice the control center is not showing. So uncheck your reverse continue if that happens. And then you can uncheck your magnet. Now put your magnet on before the reverse continue and your orders will stay. And they'll be correct. Now the YM, we never got a signal from the low because the YM did not get to the low. It didn't get close enough, maybe by one tick. Otherwise, there might have been a signal on that second green candle. It's possible. It's possible. And the RTY is pushing back up. I think the tweeting has slowed down. Today's Wednesday. We do have oil, so maybe we'll take the oil report is today. We'll probably take a few minutes break and stick around.
But need to watch carefully.
I'll let the dogs out. I'm watching my daughter's dogs. And they're dying to go out, the landscaper. Oh, here comes the MNQ. Looks like it wants to push. Test the high would be nice. I would let it.
Submitted.
Okay, there's our fill. MNQ. Let's see if it'll get there. It's pretty darn choppy. That's our risk. The chop is our risk. Chop is our risk. If I can move my stop to safety, I
Quantum
will.
sources and data, oil refining in central Russia has been either halted or scaled back in recent
Not
days
yet.
following Ukrainian drone attacks.
RTY blasted through the high. Blasted through. The MNQ, I'm expanding the stop a little bit. It's not like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I want to see if it'll test the high.
NVIDIA's results due later in
If
the
not, the YM is blasting. The RTY is blasting, and the frickin' MNQ wants to stop us out because it's a chop fest. It's just a chop fest. Go and test the high. Just go and test it. Just go up enough so I can put my stop in safety, and I'd be okay with that.
Rise of NVIDIA results due later in the day. NVIDIA up 0.7%.
Expand our target. Stop to safety.
Order filled.
All right, so we made about another 80 on that. Nope, 38. 38.
Bank of England's man says
38.
the market softening is not broad-based.
There's the test. There's the test. Now I'm going to take a minute. Sheesh. There's the test. So what do we have this morning? I got to look at the video. I want to look at the video to see my RTY. But wow. Now, I wasn't really watching. I missed this VWAP signal. I just missed it. Honestly, I just missed it. But part of the problem is I'll trade the RTY. I don't love trading the RTY just because I don't know it as well. I don't scalp it nearly as much as other instruments. But that, I didn't see the signal initially generate. I was looking at another chart. So now I would just take a breather. We've had a couple of good trades. Very nice, Roz. Very nice. Let's take a look at the video. Let's take a couple of minutes. I have no setups running. We could take a minute. Now, what you're going to get is a short signal on the RTY. Would you take a short? Just for a slight pullback? Would you? It's going to happen as soon as there's a momentum change. There is going to be a short signal on the RTY. I think, anyway, there it is. There's your short signal. It's a green candle.
Order submitted.
Okay, where does the stop have to be? It has to be above the high by about 10 ticks, preferably. 10 ticks above the high. I think this is a risky trade because the markets are so darn bullish. But look, I'm not looking for a fortune. I'm not looking for a fortune.
Inflation pressure.
Just a little bit of a reversal. If I can move my stop to safety, I'll do it. It's not enough yet. I'm not a believer in this trade because the market's too bullish. Although, look at the MNQ's doing a little bit of a sell. You know, you're not looking for a test of the low, but we are fighting momentum. We're fighting momentum. So sometimes you don't have it right. So if you think you don't have it right, you don't have to sit in the trade. Right now, it's still momentum on my side, but price is going up. It's not going down. Okay? So I'm watching carefully. Like I said, I'm not looking for a lot. I'm not looking for a lot. Stop to safety. Now, if it continues, I'll trail. If it takes me out, I know my idea isn't great. I'll expand my target. If it decides to drop and drop, I'll expand. Trail a little bit. If you trail a lot, it'll take you out. Right?
Order
That's
filled.
all right. $80 scalp, one contract. Little bit difficult signal, might work further. Where's it going to go? Maybe it goes to the VWAP. It's possible. It's possible. Magnets are discretionary and they can be put on automatic also. In other words, I can trade a magnet to the VWAP, for instance. That's the VWAP. So there's a way to target, click manual entry price. Below it, there's a box, target the VWAP. And now the VWAP is a short, so I'm going to move my order line above the VWAP where I would like to be
Bailey says
filled.
Barnes put good figures
Now,
in future
if the
forward
price gets there, the magnet entry button will blink purple and make an audio sound. If I want it to automatically trade the VWAP, just click the auto button, make sure it says auto, turns purple, and now if price reverses and goes all the way down to my order, it'll fill us short and it'll target the VWAP using our original trade setup. When we originally set up the magnet on the RTY, we had a setup. And it's a perfectly good setup for every target. We had just a one contract, 35 stop, default target. The default target is the VWAP minus 3 ticks. 3 ticks before it gets to the VWAP. That's our target. That's our target for any one contract trade because that's the way we set it up. I'm not interested in the VWAP because that's far off and it's below us. And obviously, it really seems like long scalps might be better right now. Now, we did get a good signal off the high. They work often. This time of day is a good signal time. Now, the MNQ gave a pretty late high of day signal. I would not take that. It's too far from the high of day. It may work fine, but the stop is big. In other words, I like when the signal, see how this was a VWAP signal on the YM right here? And we happened to miss it. We were doing something else. But your stop is roughly 8 to 10 ticks below the VWAP. That's actually a pretty good signal. That's a pretty good signal. Now, I didn't have my reverse continue set up on the YM. So I could take it on my reverse continue on the control panel if I wanted to take it. Now I'm up nicely on the YM.
Order submitted.
I think it's actually not a bad signal. And if I get a small scalp out of it, the PP might have been where I should have taken that. That went right to the PP. Right to the PP. So I was a little bit slow taking care of that. So PP,
Order filled.
got it. Another 40 bucks on the YM. I'll take it. And I'm ready to take a few minutes to look at the video, let the dogs out in the back. MNQ did sell off. I didn't see that signal generate. You're not going to get every signal, right? But let's just for 1 second. Why was this YM worth taking? Well, the YM did a big sell-off. Overall, it was bullish on the day until the open. Yeah, it sold off on the open, but then it got bullish again. And when Trump was done tweeting, it was nothing terrible said, so the bullishness was back. And I really think that's why that was a good signal. Also, even more important, not a big stop. The signal, we took it late. All right. When I take a late signal, I just scalp for a very quick little profit. If you had taken the signal early and noticed the VWAP could have been your target, it would have been a much better, more logical trade than just a quick scalp. You know, sometimes when everything's happening so fast, you just don't see everything, and that's part of life. But in after analysis, it was a good signal. The market sold off. It tested the previous open right here. Almost tested the low. Recovered. Momentum was very strong going up. The YM was bullish before we got here. So there were a lot of good reasons why that YM signal could be good. Okay, Paul. Sounds good. Folks, let me say goodbye to everyone on YouTube. Thank you, everyone watching on YouTube, for watching the stream. And we'll see everybody tomorrow morning. We'll stream again. So thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification.